the lights of the city. It was a cold, damp night, the kind that chills you to the bone. The city was alive with the distant hum of traffic and the flickering glow of neon signs. I was on the graveyard shift, patrolling the darker corners of town. I got a call about a disturbance in an old apartment building. Sounded routine, you know? But when I got there, things took a turn. The hallway was dimly lit, and the air was heavy with this weird tension. I could hear muffled voices coming from one of the apartments. I knocked on the door, announcing myself as a cop. The voices inside hushed, and after what felt like an eternity, the door creaked open. A guy in his 30s stood there, jittery and sweating bullets. He said he heard a scream from the apartment next door. I entered cautiously, and the guy tagged along. The place was a mess. Furniture knocked over, papers scattered everywhere. The guy pointed to a door at the end of the hall, claiming the scream came from there. I opened the door and walked into this eerie scene. A woman lay on the floor, lifeless. Her eyes stared into nothing, and the room reeked of despair. I called for backup and started checking the scene. It was like something out of a crime drama, blood splatters, signs of struggle, the works. The guy who led me there, he was acting sketchy. Kept shifting his weight and avoiding eye contact. Turns out, he lived next door and heard the commotion. Said he didn't know the woman, but his uneasiness made me suspicious. As I continued my investigation, things got weirder. The neighbors claimed they never heard a thing, and the building's security cameras were conveniently out of order. The pieces just weren't adding up, and I could feel the tension in the air, like a storm brewing on the horizon. Days turned into weeks, and the case consumed me. I started digging deeper, questioning everyone around. The city's underbelly was like a maze, and the more I uncovered, the more I realized this wasn't your run-of-the-mill crime. I got anonymous tips, cryptic messages, and strange calls in the dead of night. Someone wanted this case buried, but I couldn't let it go. The woman deserved justice, and I was determined to find the truth. Late one night, I received a tip about a shady club tied to the case. I went in undercover, the pulse of the music drowning out the doubts in my mind. The atmosphere was thick with secrecy, and every glance felt like a whisper in the dark. I spotted the guy from the apartment building, acting like he didn't recognize me. I trailed him through the neon-lit corridors, deep into the club's underbelly. The tension in the air was palpable, and I knew I was onto something big. In a dimly lit room, I found the answers I'd been seeking. It was a criminal operation, way bigger than I imagined. The woman from the apartment had stumbled upon their secrets, and they silenced her to protect their empire. Before I could react, the shadows converged. I was outnumbered, and a fight erupted in that dark room. The punches were like thunder, and the air was charged with violence. I fought tooth and nail, but it was clear I was outmatched. As I grappled with one of the goons, the room's window shattered. The city lights below looked like distant stars as I felt myself being thrown out into the abyss. The fall felt eternal, like a descent into darkness. I hit the ground, pain shooting through my body. The city sounds seemed distant as I lay there, battered and broken. The last thing I saw was the silhouette of the guy from the apartment building, watching from the shattered window. They got away with it. The shadows swallowed them whole, and justice remained elusive. As I lay there, staring up at the city lights, I knew the darkness had won. The woman's murder would remain unsolved, a haunting echo in the shadows of the big city. Escape from the nightmare circus. Hey guys, I gotta share this messed up thing that happened to me a few weeks back. So, I was driving home late one night after work, you know, the usual route, when I saw this old circus tent that I'd never noticed before. It was kinda creepy, all run down and stuff, but curiosity got the better of me. I parked my car and approached the entrance, and it was like stepping into a whole different world. The air smelled funny, like damp hay and rust. The music playing was distorted, like it was coming from one of those old record players. But the weirdest part was that there were no people around. No ticket guy, no crowd, just me and the eerie sounds echoing in the dark. I walked through the deserted carnival area, and it was like I stepped back in time. The rides looked ancient, the paint peeling off in chunks. The whole place had this vibe that sent shivers down my spine. I swear, It felt like time stopped there. As I'm wandering around, I hear this soft laughter in the distance. Couldn't tell if it was kids or what, but it was getting closer. Suddenly, I see these shadowy figures in the dim light, clowns. Not the funny, friendly kind, but the ones that send chills down your spine. I booked it, man. Sprinting through the empty circus, the clowns chasing after me. I took turns, trying to lose them, but they were always there, in the corners of my vision. I could hear their laughter getting louder and crazier. I swear, it felt like a bad dream, but I couldn't wake up. Eventually, I stumbled into this big top tent, thinking I could hide there. It was dark inside, and the laughter faded away. I felt relieved for a moment until I heard this voice, cold and low, whispering my name. I freaked out, man. I turned around, and there he was, the ringmaster. This guy, he had this twisted grin, and his eyes were like pools of darkness. He started telling me things about my past, secrets I never told anyone. It was like he knew everything. I couldn't move, like I was paralyzed. Then, the laughter started again, surrounding me. I managed to break free and ran, but the laughter followed me. It was like they were in my head, taunting me. I couldn't escape. I ran and ran, but the circus just seemed to stretch on forever. The laughter grew louder, more maniacal. Eventually, I couldn't go on. I collapsed, gasping for air. The clowns closed in, and the ringmaster whispered something I couldn't understand. It felt like the darkness swallowed me whole. I don't remember much after that, just the laughter echoing in my mind. I woke up on the side of the road, disoriented and exhausted. My clothes were torn, and I had scratches all over. It took me a while to realize where I was, miles away from that cursed circus. I don't know how I got there, but I felt this heavy weight on my chest. Ever since that night, I can't shake off the feeling that those clowns and the ringmaster are still out there, waiting for the next poor soul to stumble into their nightmare circus. I don't drive that route anymore, and I can't get the laughter out of my head. It's like they're still with me, haunting my every step. Guys, if you ever come across an old, run-down circus in the middle of nowhere, just keep driving. Don't look back. The Lake's Grasp. Hey Reddit, I've never been much of a storyteller, but something weird happened last weekend, and I just need to share it. My buddies and I decided to go camping at this old cabin by a quiet lake in the woods. It was supposed to be a chill weekend, you know? So we're all sitting around the campfire on Friday night, just joking and having a good time. That's when I had this strange dream. It was like I was standing at the edge of the lake, and the water was calling me. I could hear it whispering something, but I couldn't make out the words. The next day, we decided to go fishing. Everything was cool until we found this old boat tied up by the shore. It looked like it hadn't been used in years. We figured it'd be fun to take it out on the lake. You know, explore a bit. That's when things started getting weird. As we rowed further, the lake seemed different, like it was trying to pull us in. I couldn't shake off that dream from the night before. My friends were laughing, but I felt this eerie vibe. We reached the middle of the lake, and suddenly, the boat's engine just died. No warning, nothing. Panic set in. We tried rowing back, but it was as if the lake had a mind of its own. The water around us started swirling, and it felt like the whispers from my dream were back. We were stuck, helpless. Night began to fall, and the woods around the lake got darker. That's when I noticed strange shadows dancing at the edge of the trees. It was like the forest itself was watching us. Fear crept in. We decided to spend the night on the boat, hoping things would be normal by morning. But here's where it gets really crazy. Around 3 a.m., we heard a woman's voice singing. It was hauntingly beautiful, echoing across the water. We couldn't see anyone, but the melody sent shivers down our spines. By sunrise, the boat started moving again. We thought we were in the clear, but as we approached the shore, the whispers returned, louder than ever. The lake seemed angry. We docked the boat, and that's when I realized I had no memory of how we got back or why the boat started moving again. It's been a week, and I can't shake off the feeling that the lake has some sort of hold on me. The dream, the whispers, that mysterious singing, it's all stuck in my head. And here's the kicker, We found out that the cabin we stayed in used to belong to a woman who mysteriously drowned in the lake years ago. We never knew how she died. I can't explain it, but I feel like the lake wanted something from us that night. Something it never got. And now, every time I close my eyes, I hear those whispers and the haunting melody. It's like the lake is calling me back, and I can't escape its grasp. Stay safe out there, folks. Never underestimate the secrets hidden in the quiet places.